It happened on a Tuesday afternoon, the kind of quiet, unremarkable day that blends into the background of your life. I was in my home office, finalizing plans for a new downtown development, measuring angles, checking load distributions, making sure every beam, every joint, every detail was perfect. That's what I do. I build things that last. I notice when something doesn't fit. And that's why, when a notification lit up on the old tablet we never used, I didn't just glance at it. I saw IT was a text from Claire's mom. Any luck getting him to talk about the loans? Then, as I watched, a reply popped up. From Claire. Not yet. He's avoiding it. But don't worry, I'll get him to agree before the wedding. Once he pays them off, I'm gone. I froze. Not in shock. Not in anger. At first, just silence. Like the world had hit pause. My brain didn't want to believe it. This was the woman I'd shared my bed with for 2 years. The woman I'd planned to marry in 6 weeks. The woman I'd introduced to clients as my future wife. And now, here it was, written in plain text, her entire relationship with me wasn't love. It was a timeline, a countdown, a payout that I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the tablet. I just stood up, took out my phone, and snapped a picture of the screen. Then I emailed it to myself, saved it, locked it in, and then I started scrolling, and what I found wasn't just betrayal. It was a blueprint, months of messages between Claire and her mother, coordinated, calculated, cold. Her mom wasn't just suggesting, she was coaching. Text after text, don't push too hard. Make it about your future together. Say, you can't feel secure until you're both debt-free. Cry if you have to. He's soft, he'll feel guilty. And Claire? She played along. He's so focused on the wedding planning. It's the perfect distraction. Another one. I almost feel bad sometimes. He's a good guy. Her mom's reply. Don't feel bad. Feel smart. This is for your future, not his. Then came the one that cut the deepest. But what do I do after? It'll be obvious if I leave right away. Her mom. Stay for a year. Say you've grown apart. By then, the money's gone. You walk away free and clear. It's a perfect plan. A perfect plan. For 2 years, I thought we were building a life. She thought she was executing a heist. And I was the vault that I closed the app, walked to the kitchen, poured a glass of water. My hand didn't shake. I could hear her laughing on the couch, watching some dumb reality show like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't just erased 2 years of my life with 6 sentences. She looked up. Hey, babe. You okay? You're quiet. Just thinking about a project, I said. My voice was calm. Normal. Because in that moment, I made a decision. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me break, I was going to finish the job she started, but on my terms. The next 2 weeks were the most surreal of my life. I smiled. I held her hand. I talked about seating charts and flower arrangements. I acted like a man in love because I was in love. Or at least I had been. Now, I was in something else entirely. Warded I didn't confront her. Not yet. Confrontation is messy. It gives the other person a chance to lie, to cry, to twist the story. I didn't want that. I wanted consequences. So I did what any architect would do when faced with a flawed foundation. I started gathering data. I printed every text, saved every screenshot, backed it all to a private cloud. Then I called my lawyer, Frank, a guy who looks like he wrestles bears for fun and doesn't suffer fools. I laid it all out. He didn't flinch. She has zero legal claim to your house, your assets, anything, he said. As a girlfriend, she's got no standing. The only risk, if you voluntarily give her a large sum of money. That's the only way this becomes a problem. I smiled. So the plan was for me to agree to pay. Exactly, he said. And once you do, it's a gift. No takebacks. But what if I pretended to agree? Frank looked at me. Then he grinned. Now you're thinking like a strategist. That night, I made my move. We were cooking dinner. Her favorite, some fancy risotto she barely touched. I sighed. like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. Claire, I said, I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about the loans, about us starting our life as a team. She turned, slow, careful, but her eyes, those damn eyes, lit up with hope. Fake hope, you have. Yeah, I said, and I don't want that hanging over us. It's my wedding gift to you. I'm going to pay them off. She broke, full on, sobbing, threw her arms around me, crying about how I was the most generous, loving man she'd ever met. She grabbed her phone and called her mom right there. I could hear the squeal from across the room. He said yes. He's doing it. The fish didn't just bite the hook. It swallowed the whole damn line. But I wasn't done. There's just one thing, I said after she hung up. I don't want to just wire the money. This is huge. I want to do it right. I want to have a dinner with our parents. My bank's going to issue a cashier's check for the full amount, and I'm going to present it to you in front of everyone as a symbol of our new beginning. Her jaw dropped. Then she beamed. A public ceremony? She thought I was romantic. She had no idea I was building a stage for her downfall. The dinner was last night. Private room at the fanciest restaurant in the city. White tablecloths, candlelight, the whole deal. Claire and her parents on one side. My parents on the other. Claire looked like a queen. Her mom? Like she'd already won the lottery. Her dad just smiled, clueless, proud of his little girl that we ate. We laughed. We toasted to love, to family, to the future, all while I sat there, knowing I was the only one who saw the truth. Then, after dessert, I stood up. I had a single envelope in my hand. As you all know, I began. I asked you here for a reason. Claire and I are about to start a life together, and I want to start it right. Her student loans have been a burden, so as my wedding gift, I'm paying them off. My parents smiled. Her dad clapped me on the back. Claire's eyes shimmered with tears. Fake tears. I now knew. I opened the envelope and pulled out a single piece of paper, the blown-up screenshot of that text. Once he pays them off, I'm gone. I laid it in the center of the table. The silence was deafening. Claire's face went from radiant to ghost white in half a second. Her mom looked like she'd been slapped. My parents stared at the message, then at her. Disgust, betrayal, shame. Her dad read it, and his smile died. You could see the pieces falling into place. The dawning horror. His daughter. His wife. A con. This was never a wedding, I said, voice cold. It was a con. A well-planned one, I'll admit. Your mother should be proud. Then I handed out copies of the full message thread, every text, every lie, every calculated move. To my parents. To her father. Claire started sobbing. Mark, no. It's not what it looks like. I can explain. There's nothing to explain, I said. You explained it all in your texts. I looked at her dad. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. You raised a daughter, but your wife raised a con artist. Then I stood. Mom, Dad, let's go. We walked out, left them sitting in the wreckage. The fallout started before I even reached my car. Voicemails, texts, screaming, crying. You've ruined my life. My reply? One sentence. No. I just stopped paying for it. I got home. Her stuff was gone. I'd already hired movers to pack it all up and deliver it to her parents' house while we were at dinner. The locks were changed. Her access codes wiped. Her key snapped in half and mailed back. For the next 24 hours, my phone blew up. I blocked her. Blocked her mom. Peace. But then, this morning, another voicemail. From a blocked number. It was her. Sobbing. Begging. Mark, please. I made a mistake. A horrible mistake. My mom pushed me. Please. I'm going to your parents' house. I'll talk to them. They love me. They'll make you listen. She still didn't get it. She thought this was a negotiation. She had no idea who my father was. She had no idea what happens when you try to con a family of architects, that we don't just build things, that we inspect them, that we find the cracks, the weak points, the lies disguised as structure. And when we do, we tear them down. So when my dad called me Saturday afternoon, I knew it was showtime. Mark, he said. The demolition crew has arrived. He put the phone on speaker, set it on the table by the front door that I heard the bell ring. My mom opened it. Polite. Cold. Claire, we weren't expecting you. Claire, voice trembling. I had to explain. Mark won't talk to me. He's throwing everything away over a misunderstanding. My dad's voice cut in. Deep. Calm. Deadly. It's not a misunderstanding when it's written in black and white. We saw the texts. All of them. She started crying harder. That wasn't me. That was my mom. She put those ideas in my head. I love Mark. You know me. My dad let the silence hang. Then, I'm an architect, Claire. So is my son. We build things meant to last. And the first rule? You don't build on sand. You don't build on lies. And you certainly don't build on a blueprint of deceit. It wasn't fraud, she wailed. It was a mistake. Was it a mistake, he said, when you texted that you'd stay for a year to make it look good? Was it a mistake? When you said you'd have options once you were debt-free? That doesn't sound like a mistake. That sounds like a design. And from a technical standpoint, it's impressive. Morally, it's repulsive. She tried to talk. He didn't let her. You didn't come here to explain. You came to execute the next phase. You failed to manipulate my son, so now you're targeting his parents. You see us as another weakness to exploit. Just then, another knock at IT was her parents. Her dad, John, stepped in, trying to sound reasonable. This has been a terrible misunderstanding. Mark overreacted. My dad didn't blink. Your wife coached your daughter on how to commit financial fraud. Did you know? Of course not. John snapped. She was just trying to help with financial anxiety. My dad smiled. A slow, dangerous one. I spoke with my son's lawyer this morning. He's very interested in the legal definition of conspiracy to commit fraud. In cases like this, investigators dig into everything. Phone records, bank statements, shared accounts. Forensic accountants? They love this kind of thing. John's face went pale. Susan gasped. You're threatening us? He stammered. I'm informing you, my dad said. Your daughter tried to steal a down payment on a house. That's not a misunderstanding. That's grand larceny in a pretty dress. And you? Either you knew and did nothing, making you complicit, or you were so blind it's negligence. Either way, you have no moral ground. He turned back to Claire. You came here looking for an ally. You won't find one. You targeted my son because you thought his kindness was weakness, his stability, opportunity. You're a predator, and you're not welcome here. The engagement is over. The relationship is over. No contact. If you try, we file a restraining order. Is that clear? Silence. Then, I suggest you all leave. You have a lot to discuss. The door closed. My dad picked up the phone. It's done. The site is clear. And it was, because here's what happened next. John panicked. He didn't want lawyers, didn't want investigations. So he turned on Susan. Full meltdown. Right there in my parents' driveway. Screaming. Blaming her for the plan, for the exposure, for the risk. Susan fired back, said he was the weak link. Couldn't even fake ignorance properly. They're on the verge of divorce. And Claire? She's back at home. No fiancé. No financial support. No job that covers her bills. And $150,000 in student debt. Hers, and hers alone. Her father cut her off. Furious about the humiliation, the risk, the shame. She gambled on a perfect plan. Turns out, she wasn't the architect. She was the building, and the demolition. It wasn't just complete that IT was beautiful.